Hello, everyone. Bear me a second. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing fine. Let me just sort this out real quickly. Sort myself out completely. There we go, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Please, before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video. All that lovely stuff, guys. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well this evening, wherever you are in the world, guys. Thank you so much. Look, there's been a lot of talk about the manager situation, and I thought I'd move away. I'd divert away from that a little bit because obviously there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of mouths, there's a lot of, disgruntlement within the Man United fan base. Some of it understandable, and some of it's a little bit overhyped and stuff like that. So I'm gonna bring a little bit of normality into proceedings tonight, guys. I'm gonna try it anyway. Guys, I'm going to speak about a right back. Man United are targeting a few right backs, and they have narrowed their search down to 3 right backs that we could be targeting during the summer window, or even indeed January window. It's quite obvious that Ruben Amorim's system relies heavily on right backs and left backs, of course, wing backs. And we are very short, in particular, on the right wing back situation. Now, a few weeks ago, about a week ago, I spoke about a player named John Aramburu. John Aramburu, the Venezuelan international, 11 caps for Venezuela, who currently plays for Venezuela, can play right back, left midfield, very versatile. So I spoke about him. 11 caps for Venezuela, 1 goal, 15 million valuation fee in regards to that, and contracted to 2030. He's one of the right backs that Man United are incredibly interested in particular with the price tag of 15 million euros, which is not that expensive when you're thinking about the grand scheme of things. But there are other right backs that Manchester United are interested in at the moment. One of them is Omar El Halali. Omar El Halali is a 22-year-old Espanol player who plays for Morocco. He has 1 cap for Morocco. He can play right back, left back, or centre back. He's 22 years old. A highly talented player who currently plays for Espanyol. Very, very handy player, versatile player. And this is the type of player that Man United are going to be looking for in the future. They're going to be looking for this type of player in the future who can do most different roles, not just one role. They can versatile and transition into different roles and stuff like that. For Al Hilali, he is a 22-year-old, can play right back, left centre back, which is quite interesting there. So remember the name, Omar El Halali, 22-year-old Espanol player, right back, specialist right back, who can also play left back and centre back as well. Another player we're going to bring into the proceedings, and the new name is Nahui Molina. Nahui Molina. Well, you can say Nahul Molina. He is an Argentinian player, currently plays for Atletico Madrid. He is a 27-year-old, quite experienced, 54 caps for Argentina, believe it or not. He can play as a right back, right midfield. So he's another one who's very, very talented and versatile. And he is currently playing for Atletico Madrid. As I said, 27 years old, a bit on the other side of the spectrum in regards to age. Obviously, INEOS are looking for younger players, of course, but he's 27, very experienced, and I think this is what Ruben Amorim's looking for, a little bit of a mixture between youth and experience. Now, it depending how long Ruben Amorim stays in the job, doesn't it? Which players he's going to get, and is he going to get younger players for the future, or is he going to get more experienced players? I do believe we need to get young players. I think that. But we also need to remember that we also need to mix it in with a little bit of experience as well. I think this is very important because we are going out buying young players, but we haven't got really any players in there that you can look at and think, well, they're experienced. Not only they're experienced, but they're experienced at winning as well. Do you know what I mean? And we don't have many of those players about, unfortunately. You know, we have players who are experienced, but they're not experienced in the right things. They're experienced in losing, basically, which is something that Ruben Amorim touched on in his interview yesterday with Owen Hargreaves, of course, guys. So that's very important. It's quite obvious Man United are looking for a wing back, a couple of wing backs maybe, in particular the right wing back position. Now, this is something that I've been speaking about over the summer. I'm a big fan of Vanderson, and nothing going on in regards to Vanderson at the moment, which is quite surprising because I really do feel like he will fit the mold perfectly. He will fit the mold perfectly. He will just transition to that team. He reminds me of a young Cafu, you know, so I would have liked to have someone like Vanderson. But it's good that Man United are looking for the right wing back position. We do need it. We're desperate for it. We got Dalot. We got Mazraoui. Don't really play there as a fullback. And we got Ahmad, who's not really one of those either. He's more of an attacking player. Speaking of Ahmad is back with the team, of course, with the bereavement. He's back with the training with the squad now, which is always good news because we do need as many attacking players as we can possibly muster. We do, yeah. Look, this is a stressful time, obviously for Manchester United fans, not only Man United fans, for Ruben Amorim and everyone in between, of course, because we've got a massive game on Saturday. It's actually a be-all and end-all game, isn't it? It's a do-or-die sort of situation for Ruben Amorim at the moment. And I do think he's on a rolling contract in regards to the games that he's going to be playing. Every single game is going to be like a final to him. Now, he can retrieve everything. He can make things better. Of course he can. He can win the next couple of games against Sunderland and Liverpool. And then he's going to be the best thing since sliced bread, isn't it? Liverpool's going to be incredibly difficult. I know that Liverpool have got a couple of injuries now. They've got Ekitike out. They've obviously got the goalkeeper out as well. They did spend $500 million. So I don't think they're going to be really worried about that. They've got a big squad there, so I don't think it's much of a problem for them. But Manchester United and Ruben Amorim are in basically the final straight. They're in the nitty gritty part of the business, basically, with Ruben Amorim, because results have not gotten our way. Some of it unlucky. Our fixture list was incredibly difficult, but obviously the games that you're supposed to win, the Brentfords of this world, went wrong. It went wrong, and it could have been a lot different, but this is just the way football is sometimes. You win some, you lose some, and at the moment we're losing more than most, and we have to start getting results on the board, of course. Very, very important for me is the team lineup on Saturday. The team lineup, what we're going to go with. If I look at the lineup and I see the same players there as against Brentford, I'm going to be, you know what, you know where we're going to be, guys. We're going to be very, very upset with it, of course, and we already are when we look at the lineup. However, I do believe there are inklings and there's signs that Ruben Amorim is going to change. He's going to change the lineup. And players will be played in different positions. This is what I'm hearing. And we may even get a debut for Senny Lamens, which will be absolutely fantastic. And better late than never. That's what I would say. Better late than never in regards to that, guys, in regards to Senny Lamens and things like that. But yeah, look, I wish him the best of luck. I really hope he turns it around. I really do. If not, it's just another one bites the dust. Another manager bites the dust. Another one is, falling on the wear side in regards to, getting sacked. And I don't like to see that. Culturally, it's not what we are, who we have been over the years, of course, especially over the last 50 years. We haven't been that. And sadly, it is what it is. And I really hope that he turns it around on Saturday, and then we can go on to that Liverpool game after the international break. And maybe, just maybe, he might do something against Liverpool. I mean, it's going to be an incredibly difficult game. But you know what? These are the type of games that define you. These are the games that, you have to show yourself. You have to show yourself. If there's any game that Ruben Amorim has to show himself, is in that Liverpool game. He has to really exert himself and make something happen. Make history, mate. Make history. Go out there, win the game. And that's what he should be aiming for, in my humblest of opinions. Big up everyone who's joining me today. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. I hope everyone is good. Of course, let me say good morning to my friend Daryl. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. We will see if anything comes a bit. Don't believe it, to be fair, why we linked to all these players now. Summer transfer window needed. One thing I would say, Daryl, I understand that fully and I agree. The one thing I would say about that is that this is INEOS and this is what they are about, isn't it? Another thing is it's the fiscal year. They don't want to spend a certain amount of money this year because obviously if we buy any players in January, it will add on to what we've already spent, which is obviously going to affect the FFP and the PSR and things like that. So it is more likely that Man United may do a loan deal or maybe bringing in a player in the summer rather than, bringing in a player in January, which I don't think we're going to do, especially if it's the likes of Carlos Baleba or someone of that ilk. INEOS, the way they've done things has been incredibly, disheartening. And we completed the trust, whatever trust was there, has been completely ripped out of us, to be honest with you, and me too. We envisioned this before the season started, that we're going to be talking about right wing backs, centre midfielders, and and whatnot over, when the season starts, because we knew that we're throwing Ruben Amorim into the deep end, and this is exactly what they've done. We should have had these players done a long time ago. And as we were in the summer, it was like, you know what, we're targeting a few players and we're not targeting the amount of players that I've mentioned this last week or so. The amount of players that I mentioned this last week or so is ridiculous, because why weren't we targeting those players during the summer? And this is a perfectly valid question at the end of the day. And I just feel disillusioned by them. I feel, they're not really on it in regards to the pitch, what goes on the football pitch. They're more interested in their pockets, and they're more interested in the regeneration project and whatnot, guys. Absolutely. But it is what it is, and we can only hope. We can only have our fingers crossed that just maybe, we might turn the corner one day. We hope so. We don't. The Man United fans, the ones that have backed the manager, the ones that have been there and supporting their football team, and not coming on here and saying, "I hope we lose" and stuff like that. These people, you people, us people, we deserve success, and I hope we get it, guys. I really do. Absolutely. Let me just say good morning to the legend that is Grayo. What's going on, brother? Catch you in early, my guy. I hope you're doing well. Yes, it's all good to be linked with all these players, but in my primary concern is if Amorim will be our manager by the time we sign these players to fruition. Sorry, but can't get excited, bro. No problem, Grayo. I understand, mate. But what I would say is that I hope that Ruben Amorim does the right thing on Saturday, mate, and I really do hope so. I hope that he goes for the right lineup. We all know what he needs to do, and if he doesn't do it on Saturday, I'll just go to the conclusion that he doesn't really want to win. If he changes the lineup, I will give him a chance, and this is exactly what we've been talking about all day. We were saying that if we saw a plan, if we saw a destination, if we saw a manager that is planning for the future, we would be a lot more giddy. I wouldn't say giddy, but we'd be a lot more enthusiastic about him, and we won't be attacking him as much. The fact that he's reverted back to old news, old chapters in regards to Dalot, Shaw, Maguire, and Bruno is where we get disillusioned, and this is where we get, we doubt the manager, because I can defend the manager all I want. We could defend the manager until the cows come home, but the fact of the matter is we cannot defend the lineup. This is the thing. And because we know we got players there who can come into that lineup. Obviously, you look like Eleni Euro, Aiden Heaven, Mainu. These players can come into the lineup. And you're even thinking about the young players that are coming through the system as well. We got some great young players coming through the system. And why are some of these players not being integrated into the squad when they perform so well in the preseason friendlies as well? Absolutely. Big up, Gray. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed, of course. Big up, Ephraim. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon, Sal. What Bremo said about the players is spot on. And this is what I'm saying. The truth shall set you free. In regards to what Bremo said, there you go, guys. What I've been talking about all bloody year in regards to the system. Bremo's completely shut down the system mongers. Absolutely, he has. In regards to he's placed it on the players. He said he's played that formation before. And also, if you listen to the Owen Hargreaves interview with Ruben Amorim, Owen Hargreaves said that he won the Champions League with that system, with Bayern Munich. So there you go, guys. It's not the system. It's the players in the system. And I'm not going to throw the book at Ruben Amorim for the system, because he has his system and his system has worked for him. The problem is the players that he's playing in the system. That is the biggest problem that we're having at the moment. The players that play in the system, there's no future in it. We all know that Ruben Amorim is not a number 8. We all know that, Bruno Fernandes is not a number 8. We know he's not a number 8. It's quite obvious, isn't it? And the amount of mistakes he's made this season, and the blame game that he's been doing this season, of course, we done a blame game about INEOS, about the players, and about the manager. Obviously, this last couple of days, we should do a Bruno Fernandes blame game. Who's he going to blame next? Is it going to be Euro? Is it going to be De Ligt? Is it going to be Sesko? Who's he going to blame next? Who is it, guys? Let me know. I should do a poll, isn't it? Basically, look, he needs to pick the right team. Things aren't as doom and gloom as people think. Let me just say that right now. It only takes a few tweaks to change the narrative, and things can get a little bit better. I do believe if he played the team that we've been saying for at the beginning of the season, I think we'll have a few more points. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that we're going to win every game, but we probably would have beaten Fulham. We probably would have, probably would have even drew or beaten Brentford, in my opinion, because obviously the first goal was a mistake. And guys, in my opinion, and if even Salim Menz was in goal, he probably would have saved that first goal, in my opinion. Ephraim, Sal, is there any truth about Amram to walk? Look, there is obviously news about Ruben Amram wants to walk. I've got it on my caption right there. Ruben Amram won't walk, and I don't expect him to walk. If he was going to walk, he should have walked at the beginning of the season when he had a 4 out of 5 window. What I would say about Ruben wouldn't throw away 12 to 4 million. He's going to get 12 million if he gets sacked now. He get 4 million on November the 1st when it deducts a little bit. No one's going to run away from that amount of money, no matter who you are. And I mean, you put yourself in his position. And obviously, I don't agree with this compensation fee. I don't, because it opens the door for down tooling. I think because when things are not going well or when you're not settling in, you think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and get sacked. And I'm not saying that's what Ruben Amram is doing, but it does open the door for that. It does open the door for that kind of thing. It's something sinister, something like that, of course, you know. I don't think people should be rewarded for being sacked. I mean, it's probably the only job in the world where you get rewarded handsomely, by the way, for being sacked. You know, can you imagine this, guys? Can you imagine? Look, I worked in a hospital for 5 years, right, in St. George's in London. And can you imagine, guys? We're working in St. George's, and you're very disillusioned and you're very unhappy about the job, and you don't want to work there anymore. You know, you can't resign because you don't get paid. You can't get sacked because you don't get paid. Imagine they paid you for getting sacked there. Imagine the mentality that would be created, by that, just that rule right there. And this is a small example of what I'm talking about. I don't think managers should be rewarded handsomely for being sacked, for example, 4 million or even 12 million or even 4 million, should I say. They shouldn't be rewarded for that, because I feel like it opens the door for mediocrity, it opens the door for down tooling and underperformance. And it just takes away that little bit of edge, if you ask me, Of course, I'm not saying that Ruben Amram is doing that. I'm just saying that, this is a possibility, and human nature, it will always enter your head whenever these, whenever things are going badly, you will have it in your head. Maybe I should just call it quits, and maybe I should just leave this job and blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? Peace and blessings, RJ. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. Hope everything is good with you. Not feeling this Sunderland game. I want us to win. We will win. Don't worry about it, RJ. I got you, brother. We will win. Sal, we need a left wing back and a right wing back who are capable of crosses for strikers. Ephraim, you got to keep your faith in Dorgu. Dorgu's still very young. I remember when David Beckham played for Man United. At Dorgu's age, David Beckham was playing for Preston North End. You got to give him a chance, Man United need a right wing back, not a left wing back. Dorgu's getting the balls in the box. It's the players that are not making the movement, and they need to get in the box. And as much as he's going to carry on crossing, and he does cross more than any other player in our team. As much as he's going to carry on crossing, he's going to get better and better, and it's eventually going to find his man. But you have to be patient with 20-year-olds, Ephraim. Absolutely. But right back's a different story. Spurs are absolute frauds in the Champions League. They shouldn't have went to the Champions League. Absolutely. They have as much right to be in the Champions League as Manchester United. I actually think that if Manchester United were in the Champions League, we'll be asserting ourselves to a much more higher level than what Tottenham are doing at the moment. Tottenham are serial losers. Man United have a legacy and a heritage in the Champions League that's only bettered by Liverpool in England, So I always believed that Manchester United should be in the Champions League. I find it really weird that these teams, some of the teams that are in the Champions League, I mean, you look at them and you're thinking, how on earth are they in the Champions League? Look at Frankfurt, for example. That just goes to show you the levels here. 5-1, and then you got Almaty, and you got teams of that ilk. I mean, imagine losing 5-1 to Atletico Madrid. Not even Man United would lose 5-1 to Atletico Madrid. Guys, absolutely not. And the Champions League needs Man United, definitely. Spurs are frauds, absolutely. Big up, guys, absolutely. Thank you so much, Gray, legend. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate you every day, my guy. Chat, you hit the like button, subscribe button, show pictures. Thank you so much, my guy. I really appreciate you, mate. Every single day, my guy. We need results against Sunderland, Liverpool, and Brighton. I mean, look, it's going to be a difficult run. Ruben Amram has got himself into a corner that is going to be very difficult to get out now. The only way he's going to do it is come out fighting, and that's the only way you have to do it. And that's the only way I would say he can do it. He's got no other option but to fight. And, you're not going to give up. You're not going to quit. And no Man United player should ever quit. On the day of Duncan Edwards' birthday, right, when Duncan Edwards passed away in 1958 in the Munich air disaster, one of the best players in the world at the time, one of the most versatile all-round players in history. England would have probably won a couple of more World Cups. Man United will probably challenge in Real Madrid for more and more European Cups and Champions Leagues. That is how important that Duncan Edwards was. Regardless of what happened in 1958, what 1958 did, it epitomized Manchester United's character. It epitomized Manchester United's resilience, and most of all, and it is who we are. And every single one of those players, the petulance from Bruno, the down tooling, the injury faking, and all these things that have been happening at Manchester United, these players right there, they're the shoulders that they are standing on. Those shoulders there, those people sacrificed, those great footballers, and the Busby Babes who sacrificed themselves for players like that to be throwing their arms around in the pitch and not giving 100% for the cause and not fighting for this badge. As Wayne Rooney said, he doesn't recognise the football club anymore, and I certainly don't recognise the football club anymore. And this has been going on for a few years now, obviously, because the nucleus of the players that have been down tooling over the last few years are still at this football club. Do you know what I mean? And until those players have gone, including our captain, we can't really evaluate Man United effectively. And it is down to everyone. It's not just down to one person. It's not just down to the manager. It's not just down to the board. It's not just down to the players. It's a collective. And even the fans, some fans, I would say, that are their part to blame as well, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up, Amir. I hope you're well. Sanjay, good afternoon, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. These players better be switched on against Sunderland. I hope so, my guy. I hope so. Ciao, good afternoon. I'm not getting any excited about new signings because I think nothing is going to change under INEOS. We ruin managers and players' corner, players' career. Yep. Amir, but at the end of the day, guys, I have to speak about the rumors. If you're not interested, don't come here. And that's all I say, and that's it. If you're not interested, don't come here. Come out with a constructive argument as to why and stuff. I need to talk about Man United. This is the news around Man United. This is what I do. I talk about Man United, and this is what it's all about. I don't want people coming on there and just being a sobby bollocks. That's not what it's all about. I'm not interested. I'm not here to give you psychological lessons. Support your football team. Support Stretford Post. If I talk about the news, respond with constructiveness. I'm not interested because that's kind of rude. You know what I mean? All right. Well done. Daryl, we will see if anything comes to light. Don't believe it, to be fair, when we link to these players now. Summer transfer window, we need them to buy. Understand? I'm hearing from very, very important people, Daryl. At the end of the day, Man United are interested in these players, and Man United will sign players as they always sign players. And Man United are looking for a right wing back, whether it's late or not. This is what we're doing at the moment. Guys, not Brett May. What's going on, mate? United are a busted flush. Would you take a Big Sam to maybe keep you in the division? You know what I would say, my friend? I would say that Big Sam is not as bad as people think. I don't think Big Sam is a terrible manager. I think he's been painted with a brush that is a little bit unfair, in my opinion. I honestly would like to know. I would like to think about what would happen if Big Sam was the England manager for a longer period of time. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously we know what happened with him, and then that scam happened and he lost the job and stuff like that. I would love to know where England would have went. It's a topic to behold, isn't it? I would like to know where England would have went in regards to that, because I don't think he's as a bad manager as people think, and I don't think I think he's better than Southgate. However, no, thank you. No, thank you. Grayo, to be a positive, you are always positive and optimistic, but I'm nowhere near that, unfortunately. I can't get excited about it because I know where Man United came from, Grayo, and you should do as well. Man United came from adversity, 1958. People lost their lives at this football club. Man United are built from adversity, Grayo. Built from adversity. Not many people know this. That Man United's downturns, Man United's unfortunate events that have happened in our history are actually what make Man United. The adversity that we've had, becoming a cup team in the 80s, getting relegated in the 70s, and all these things. This is what Man United are, Grayo. This is what we are. You supported the club 55 years, mate. That you didn't see a Premier League title, until 1992. You know what I mean? Or a Division 1 or Premier League title to 1992. So isn't it? That is what Man United are about. And Man United, the blessing with Man United is always in the struggle. I know that we struggled a long time, but we always have to still try our best to stay optimistic. And, when people come on this channel and say, I'm not interested in that, I'm not interested in that, it doesn't really feed into Stretford Post and what we're trying to build here. Do you know what I mean? Because, I speak the news. I can't just talk about doom and gloom. I mean, I leave that to social media. I leave that to Twitter. I leave that to them, because at the end of the day, I'm here to spit the news about Man United. I'm not here to make up any bollocks. And I'm here to actually, trying to bring a bit of light, trying to bring a bit of other news out there, rather than all those big mouths that are out there trying to make things worse. Sack the fraud, get rid of the fraud, this, that. Do you know what I mean? And I'm tired of that. And I think everyone is tired of that, I agree with Angry Ginge. Angry Ginge was right. Yeah, Angry Ginge was absolutely spot on. I saw what he said, and I think he's absolutely spot on. Sack another manager, not going to do anything. But I've heard of it. And he's absolutely spot on. And isn't it funny that someone like Angry Ginge could come out with such an intelligent comment, unlike some people who are coming in with, just a very one-dimensional, simplistic comment in regards to that. It's nice and refreshing, of course. It's very frustrating, when you do content creation. And the only thing that people can add is, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. Not really bothered about that. Not interested in that. Imagine you're having a conversation with someone you go out for a bar or something like that, and you're having a conversation with someone and they're like, not interested in that. No, not really interested in it, to be honest. I don't really care, to be honest. We need to lighten up. Come on, guys, lighten up. It's going to get better. Trust me. Trust Uncle Sal, guys. It's going to get better. Believe you me, it's going to get better, guys. Take it from me. Take it from me. It's going to get better. Trust. Don't worry about that. The beast will awaken. The sleeping giant will awaken, and we'll be back to where we belong. Hurts watching all these small and shite teams in the Champions League and not us. I mean, it does. At the end of the day, the Champions League is at a loss, not having us. Looking at the Champions League right now, I don't think anyone's really interested in it. I didn't even hear much about it yesterday. I forgot it was even on. When you're thinking about it, I did forget. I forgot the Champions League was even on, It's madness, isn't it? Absolutely. Man United, Man City had no aura. No, they don't. None of the teams do. Guys, this is why all they can do is talk about Man United. On the night of the Champions League, the biggest viewed thing on TNT Sports was the interview between Owen Hargreaves and Ruben Amorim on Champions League evening. That was the biggest viewed thing. If Man United stood up and decided to leave the Premier League, there would be no Premier League. There would be nothing like that. Do you know what I mean? 100% if the lineup changes, Bruno drop, Lamen starts, Yoro Heaven, Delit's back, and then I'll be more positive, mate. I'll be more positive if we get a win. Absolutely. However, I would say that I want us to win in the right way with the right lineup, because it would show me progress. It would show me change. If I see the team on Saturday and I see the same old lineup, what the lineup is, I'm going to be very, very pissed off. And I think a lot of people will be as well, I want to see progression. I want to see learning from your mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, and not least in football, where sometimes it's impossible not to make mistakes. You can never win in football, but you need to learn from them. The most important thing, I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. The most important thing to do is learn from your mistakes. Learn from what you did in the past. Learn from it and change it. Because I know that Ruben Amorim is a good manager. There's a good manager in there. There's a very good manager in there, but he's letting me down, and he's making me, come to the opinion that he's indefensible. I can't defend him anymore, and that is where I've never been. Because I backed Erik ten Hag all the way to the end. I've backed other managers all the way to the end, and it's crazy, guys. Even if Ruben Amorim was sacked, we're looking at the pool of players that have been interested with Man United. It scares me, guys. It scares me that we're thinking about going back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It scares me. It does. And I'm looking at it and I think there's no one out there that, I can look at and think, wow, you know what? He's the future. He's going to be a great manager. There's no one available. Grayo, I really hope that he changes his team. So I don't want him to go, and we'll support him, but he has to take responsibility for his team choices. I bring in Kone. I don't know about Kone, Grayo. No. Kone's not ready. He's lightweight. Playing him against Sunderland, against Xhaka. I mean, I don't know, mate. It's your opinion, but I don't think he's ready, brother. He's not ready. I've been watching the youth team. I don't know if you watch youth team football, Grayo, but He's not ready yet. A little bit lightweight. We'll play him in the FA Cup though and get him a little bit of experience. Maybe he should have went on loan, but I think all that Man United need to do is play Ugarte and Mainu. Wasn't it Mark Goldbridge who done the AI? And AI picked the best Man United team. He picked the best Man United team. And the best Man United team was Mainu and Ugarte in midfield. There was no Dalot, there was no Shaw, there was no Maguire, there was no Bruno in that lineup. And that was from AI. And, AI calculate everything and stuff like that, But definitely. Big up, Grayo. At least Embremo hasn't caught the disease from that. Not yet. And this is one thing, Daryl, that I'm very, very concerned about in regards to Embremo and Cunha. I believe that Cunha is a future captain, by the way. I know a lot of people not mention him, and I know that people are looking at his performances and stuff like that. In particular, the last couple of games, he's not been as potent as he had, but he did have an injury. But I do think that Cunha is going to be a very, very important player for Man United in the future. And I actually think he's a captain material. I really do. I don't want him to catch that disease that we other players have catched. The longer they stay at Man United, the more likely they are to catch that disease. This is why I would have removed all those players that have been there for a number of years. This is why I would have removed all those players. Do you know what I mean? Who've been there for a number of years. I would have done that straight away. As soon as I walked into the club, I would have said, right, who's been here the longest? And he would have gave me a list of the players that have been in the longest. Okay, you see these bunch of players there? I don't want to hear them here anymore. Please. Get rid of them, Good afternoon, Darren. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is blessed. Darren, I feel has to be some pressure from above forcing him to play certain players. There is, Darren, and people will underestimate that. People will ignore that fact, but there is. Bruno is a asset. He's 300 grand a week. Leaving him on the bench would just upset the people upstairs because they see him as a pound sign, so to speak. So they believe that if you leave Bruno on the bench, his price tag is going to go down because he's deemed a £100 million player, as Saudi Arabia confirmed. So this could be a possibility, and this is a thing, and this is the sinister thing that goes on in football. These are the things that we don't really clock onto. We're not aware of. Ruben Amorim did say that you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and it could be something like as simple as that he's been forced to play certain players because they're on certain amounts of wages, But it depends what you want, isn't it? At the end of the day, it depends how you interpretate things. And should he just stick to his guns and drop players? You have to be strong as a manager. Alex Ferguson, I remember, was incredibly strong as a manager, and he would make decisions even though it was controversial, Johnny, good morning, good evening, good night. The even weirder thing is that it seems whoever Bruno blames, Amorim drops. We are going to lose. And this is one thing I spoke about earlier on today, Johnny. Bruno Fernandes seems like a very big mouth. Obviously, he is the captain, so he's going to be a little bit of a big mouth. But he does seem like he's overexerting himself in regards to leadership. Right? When you saw him on the bench the other day doing all this crap and all that business for the cameras. And, and he's got a big player FC brigade around him for some weird reason, right? If Ruben Amorim manages to drop Bruno on Saturday, which I don't believe he is, by the way, but if he does do that, that's going to give me hope that this isn't a player FC thing, right? He's actually taking a stand. And you're absolutely right, Johnny. When he mentioned Lenny Yoro in the media, behind Ruben's back, I expected Bruno Fernandes to get punished for that because obviously Garnacho did something similar, but Garnacho wasn't throwing players under the bus. Garnacho was like, I should be playing. He didn't throw anyone under the bus. He just said, I played every game, but how come I'm not playing now? So I don't want to see a double standard here. I want to see a fair playing ground, a fair playground here. I want to see players drop for disciplinary reasons, the same as another player is dropped. What Bruno did behind the scenes, slagging off Lenny Yoro, when it was Bruno who didn't track his man. It was Bruno who didn't track Rodri in the Man City game. It was Bruno's fault. That's not a captain for me. And then when you add on top, he missed the penalty against Brentford. He got intimidated by a referee against Fulham with a little nudge. I come from Roy Keane and Brian Robson, mate. I don't understand how this man could be cast as a captain. I don't think he is captain material. Grayo, Daryl, we would be up by the table if the lineup was what we've been saying, brother. I reckon at least top 5 or 6, we'd probably be higher than that. I don't think we would have lost to Arsenal. I do believe we might have lost to Man City with the way things all went, but you never know. It's all hindsight at the end of the day, isn't it? We would have a lot more. I mean, in the law of average, we'd probably have a lot more points right now. Yeah, and we'd be way up the table, mate. I actually think we'd be higher than 5th or 6th. I think we'd be in the top 4 right now if we pick the right team. It's not as doom and gloom as people think, but it is doom and gloom when he keeps on making the same mistakes. And this is the biggest frustration for me, my guy. Sal, Grayo, Sal, looking forward to the team that you yourself would pick against Sunderland, not what Amram you think is going to pick. I feel sorry for Amram. I never do that because I pick the team that I think. It's called a predicted lineup. That means I'm predicting the lineup, Grayo. If I was to pick the team, I would tell you it right now. Lamens in goal, Lenny Yoro centre-back, De Ligt centre-back, Mazraoui or Aidan Heaven centre-back, right? Left wing-back will be Dorgu. Right wing-back for me, I would bring in someone like Mantata, the young player in the youth, right? In the midfield, it'll be Mainu and Ugarte. It'll be Cunha and Buemo and Sesko up front. Simple as that. Dorgu left wing back. There's nothing special. I would actually try Leon as left wing back. I would actually try Leon as left wing back. And that's exactly what I'll do. Yeah, there'll be no Dalot, Shaw, Maguire, Bruno. They will all be good. Forget about it. No way. They wouldn't be in my lineup. That's what it does. But when I do the predicted lineups tomorrow, that's my predicted lineup. What I think Ruben Amorim is going to do is a guesswork at the end of the day. What he's going to do. Big up, Grayo. Sal, how we buy so many mentality weak players? This is a crime. Now, Man United have not bought any mentality weak players. Man United have got strong players. The mentality weak players are the players that have been there for years, Ephraim. Years. You know, you need to understand what we're talking about here. We're not talking about the Mbuemos, the Cunhas, the Seskos, maybe even the Agartes and the Licks and the Mazwuris. And these are not mentality weak players. These have been our best performing players. And, the weak players are the ones we've been talking about. The ones we've been continuously talking about like a broken record. No, keep Dorgu in the team. I like him. Big up, RJ. I hope Amram doesn't leave. Must be hard for him. It is very hard for him. Obviously, there was talk about his wife speaking to the media, saying that he's not even sleeping at night. I mean, you can only imagine what it is. Some of this fan base, some of them don't deserve success. I really don't think so. I think they don't really support Man United anyway, so I don't think they really care. And the longer that the Man United go about success, the better for them, because it gets them clicks and likes and things like that, doesn't it? At the end of the day. He'll be gone in the next month. There's no way this team won't lose another game, but United should remove these older players ASAP and bring in a new respected manager. Who's a respected manager, mate, that you can actually look at and say is respected, Shakti? Who? There's no one available, mate, that I could say is respected. Who? Glasner? He'll get sacked in 6 months, mate. Let me tell you that right now. Glasner will get sacked. They would eat him up. Areola will get sacked, mate. The only one I can actually think of who can come right now, who I don't think he'll come, he's at Napoli, is Conte. That's the only one I could say that is experienced in winning and stuff like that and in strict. That's the only one I can think about. Let's not think about what's going to happen. Let's back the manager. Let's see what happens. They're not going to sack him if he beats Liverpool. They're not going to sack him if he beats Sunderland. They're not going to sack him. If he beats Liverpool and Sunderland, he buys himself. I think he buys himself to December. I do. But if that happens, it's a big if. Darren, Sal, my daughter Scarlett and I are watching on TV. Can you shout out Scarlett for me? Hello, Scarlett. How you doing? I hope you're doing really well. And I hope you're supporting Man United. Listen to your dad and support Man United. Let me just put this subconsciously in your brain right now at a young age. It's all about supporting Man United. Big up, Scarlett. I hope you're doing well. And thank you, Darren. A big up, Darren. Daryl to Darren. It's been bad for 10 years. I've gone grey. I mean, look, listen, do you think, I blame the greys on the shine. I think it's the shine. It's not the grey. Am I delusional? Maybe I am, but you know what? It is what it is. At the end of the day, big up, Daryl. Sal, I feel scary for him. He has to change the personnel. Then we can find out how many players are criminal. Absolutely. Grayo, Scarlett, for more of us in the chat. Sal, over to you, brother. Thank you so much, Scarlett. And thank you, Grayo. Of course, Grayo, one of the CEOs of Stretford Post. Legend, of course, guys. Don't forget to shout out Scarlett in the chat, guys. Big up, Sal. It's been a minute. Big up, Percival Sovereign. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I can't handle another manager sack. Literally giving me a brain erectile dysfunction. I'm numb. I can't get excited anymore about a new manager. Me neither, Percival. Me neither. And I don't want a new manager, to be fair. I can't be bothered now. I've lost total interest in it. I don't care no more because I don't think it's going to work. I think we'll sack the manager and we'll probably be in a worse position in a year's time. I really think that. I honestly do. I don't think there's anyone out there that really stands out to me as the man. As I said, there's only one, is Antonio Conte, and that is the only manager that I look at and I think, yeah, look, you know what? He's got a bit of discipline. He's won a few trophies, and that's it. You know what I mean? Big up Earthfan. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is blessed with you. Big up Arroyo. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Would anyone take Claudio Ranieri? No, too nice. Too nice. Man United need a disciplinarian. That's what Man United need. Ranieri is a Leicester manager. That's what he is. He's that kind of guy who can get the best out of someone like Leicester. At Man United, they'll eat him alive. They'll eat him alive. You know, they need someone like Conte, definitely. Absolutely. Quinton, work on getting a good mic. Okay, mate. Thank you. Thank you for that advice, mate. Maybe send a super chat and I might buy a mic with your super chat, eh? That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Irfan, if they are not interested in that, it doesn't fit their narrative, Sal. I mean, this is the problem, isn't it, Irfan? You're trying to talk to a wall sometimes, you know. I must have repeated myself about 1,000 times on here, Irfan, and you know, no wonder I get frustrated. It's crazy. Do you know what I mean? It is crazy, you know, and no wonder I get frustrated. Just remember, I've got a bad mic, but my followers are still growing, mate, by thousands, right? So we've only been here a few months, just to let you know. Not a night. I mean, this is what people come on here to do. Maybe get Quinton. Maybe what you should do, brother. I'm not going to sell you because at the end of the day, I've achieved a lot in life, and maybe you should come on here and be respectful because you're privileged to talk to someone like me. No arrogance, but it is. Sack the fraud fans, absolutely. Dan, bro. The job is in Ruben's hands. Him succeeding with us is what I really want. We need European football and trophies, and he knows that. Absolutely done, bro. Good to see you again. Ragnick rating Crystal Palace manager. I mean, Crystal Palace manager will be gone in no time, mate. Chow, you're repeating yourself. I know, brother. I know. This is repeating yourself. It's harder to support the manager when he keeps playing the same players in the same position. He keeps playing the same position and the same players. It's same Bruno and the same players. You're like a rewind of the record, and we're just like, you know, mixing. We're back with the mixing sound. Here we go. We're rewind bowl selector. Let's go bowl selector. Let's keep doing that, guys. Let's keep getting these same narratives. Come on, change the record, guys. Come on. Same thing. If he picks the same lineup on Saturday, it's going to be even more difficult for me to support him. Nah. Man. Big up. Some of our players probably watched Angry Ginge too. I hope so. Absolutely. Irfan, Johnny's moaning. I don't want to listen to Johnny moaning. Johnny, be good. Big up. We are struggling to get the Glazers. I'm only joking, Johnny. We are struggling to get the Glazers and INEOS out. So if this transpires currently, might be the heaven we are praying for. Who knows? Eventually, they have to sell or lose their money. They're not going to sell, mate. And the reason they're not going to sell, mate, is because of that regeneration project that they're going to be in line to make billions. Some said 10 billion. Unbelievable, isn't it? And that they're going to be in line to make that much money out of this football club. And there you go, guys. That's why they're here. That's why they won't go anywhere, in my opinion. The only way to stop them is with that regeneration project that they're going to make so much money from. Ephraim, so it's amazing some fans know the players are not good enough, but they want managers a change. It's mad. I know, absolutely. Alberto, what's going on, my friend? Alberto Perez Mendoza. Buenos dias. How you doing, friend? Buenos noches, shall I say, for me. Well, it might be Buenos dias for everyone else, or someone else over there. Also, no Ahmad in that all team. He seems lost since signing the big contract. I feel he is trying to prove he's worth it. Maybe. This has to be, obviously, you're very right, Alberto, about Ahmad. I haven't rated any Ahmad performances for the last 6-7 months. He hasn't played well, and these things need to be called out. But it's not only him. There's a number of players in there that haven't played well as well. There's a number of players there that have underperformed, and that is evident when Ahmed doesn't play as well, you know. Ahmed's not a right wing back. We all know that. He's not even a number 10. He's a winger. That is what he is. He can't fit into the system, and that is personally what I feel. I always believe that a number 10 should always carry some sort of flair, some sort of guile, eye of the needle sort of pass, that sort of thing. That's what a number 10 should be. I don't think Ahmed is that. I think he's a winger. A winger who don't cross, of course. Absolutely not. RJ, Karat versus Madrid wouldn't get the same views as Karat versus United. No, it wouldn't. Man United have more views than anyone. You know what I mean? We're the biggest club in England. If we lost against Chelsea by any score or margin, we would have been one place above relegation with only points difference separating the team's relegation. Yeah, but we won. If we won against Fulham, we'll be near the top. Works both ways. I felt that when Ruben Amorim's wife asked him why he takes so much abuse, because these fans are scumbags. They don't know how to critique. They're not. I wouldn't even call them fans. I wouldn't call them fans. They're just absolute scumbags, low lives. That's what they are. You know, some of them are sitting in a little room together with 3 man deep, sitting in a room, screaming and shouting, all sweaty and smelly. Some of them, you know, shout abuse on internet and you know, call people frauds and stuff. You think that actually helps the team? You actually think that helps? You know, there's some of them who do this on their thumbnails, as we know, with that girl. Losers, a lot of them. That's all they can do, you know. And try doing this without social media. I've done it without social media. Big up, Sal. Do you think there's a problem with our transfer? We were supposed to sign Osimhen. We got Sesko instead. João Neves, we got Ugarte. No, there's no problem with it. Sesko's going to be better than Osimhen. Osimhen can score what he likes in the bloody Muppet League. I don't really care about him. He doesn't play for Man United. He didn't have the courage to come to Man United. He wanted to stay in a clown league. That is it. You know, Sesko's 23. You know, he's a lot younger than thing. Believe in the players. Ugarte is another thing. We couldn't get João Neves. We lost out on him to PSG. That's the money thing. This is what I signed up for. I really felt it sad when it was what it is. Absolutely. Darren, thanks a lot to Sal. Sal Scarlett loved it. She has a United t-shirt, but it still has Rashford in it. Time to get a new top. I think you need to get her a new Man United top, Darren. I really do think you need to do that, mate. Big up Scarlett, and you know what? I appreciate you supporting Man United. I know it's difficult at the moment to support Man United. It's not the easiest team to support at the moment, is it, guys? Not at all. Absolutely not. Big up Shakti. It's either Conte or Zidane, and they should give him freedom. Zidane won't do it, mate. What makes you think Zidane's going to succeed in the Premier League? Because he managed Real Madrid? That he's going to succeed in the Premier League? This man ain't good enough for the Premier League, mate. He had Toni Kroos, he had Modric, he had Bale, he had Ronaldo, he had Benzema, he had Ramos. Come on, man. He had Courtois. Come on, man. Zidane don't take the Man United job for a reason. And he hasn't had a job since for a reason. It's just that is just a fan theory that Zidane is going to be great for Man United because he won for Real Madrid. Who doesn't? Ancelotti won for Real Madrid afterwards. I could win for Real Madrid. It's not a hard thing to do. Really isn't when you've got that array of talent around you. Conte, however, I would say yes, but not Zidane. Come on, guys. Let's get the likes up. Absolutely. Let's get it up to, can we get it to 50 likes? I don't know if we can do that, guys. Don't forget about it. Absolutely. Guarding the team, yourself a pick. I couldn't agree more, brother. I definitely get Leon in as he's hungry, so play for. He's still got that South American grit, hasn't he, Gray, that we need. I would also give Coney a few minutes here and there. I would give him a few minutes here and there, absolutely. I wouldn't start him, but I would bring him on like 20 minutes to go here and there, and we can see what he's got. If he performs well against Sunderland, then you can start saying, yeah, well, we may involve him a little bit more. I mean, we got nothing to lose. I would say that. Thank you, Sanjay. Sanjay, by the way, guys, I live in a big apartment in the UAE. It is very echoey. I don't have a room yet, but I will have a room. Guys, I don't have the soundproofing and stuff. And believe me, I know about soundproof. I worked in music 20 years, so I know about soundproofing. So basically, I need to get a different room. And if people were moaning about my microphone and not even saying, hello, Sal, how are you, Sal? Just a bitter thing, isn't it? It's just a little bit of a bitter thing because they can't do what I do, or haven't done what I've done. Unfortunately, at the end of the day. But look, it will be fixed and everything will improve as Stretford Post gets more advanced. And as we get better and better as the time goes on, of course, guys, of course. RJ, big up Sanjay. I don't want Chelsea or Liverpool to win this weekend. Man United have got to beat those teams. That's what we got to do. Absolutely. Jaffa, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I'm getting tired of the fans' same narrative. He doesn't have any players to play his style in the mid and in defense. That's why he plays the same players to get to get a brain impatient twat. Samaram needs backing and discussion. Yeah, I agree with Jaffa here. I absolutely agree with Jaffa. He's absolutely right. I can't agree with Jaffa more. However, Jaffa, what I would say, to bring a little bit of playing devil's advocate here, he doesn't need to pick Maguire. He doesn't need to pick Luke Shaw. He doesn't need to pick Bruno. He doesn't need to pick... who's the other one? Who am I missing here? Dallo. He doesn't need to pick those players. He doesn't. There is Euro, there's Heaven, there's Mainu, there's other players as well that he can possibly pick. And this has been the biggest problem. I think the biggest problem with it, Jaffa, and you make a great point, and I understand what you're saying. You're perfectly right. There's some people who just want to throw another manager under the bus. That's what they want to do. I honestly believe if he just changed Bruno and moved him to a number 10, moving Bremo out to the right, I think it'd be a lot better. But then again, you think about Bruno, and Bruno's ill-disciplined in whatever position he plays, and this is the problem, isn't it? So this is where Ruben Amorim has to find a way. He has to find a way, and he has to show courage here. He has to be courageous in regards to the team he selects, because we could be very, very positive. We can. But we also need to be realistic as well. And we also have to call things as they are, and we have to call the truth, right? And that's it. But that doesn't mean that we're getting out of my football club, getting them fraud out of my football club. It doesn't mean that we're that, does it? It just means that we're calling things from all angles and not we're not extremist in our opinions either. We're not Amorim out, as I've always said, and Amorim in. We're not in these extreme opinions here, guys. We're in the middle of what we want. The legend of Grayo said it. All it is, pick the lineup. Help us to help you. Help us to help you. If we see the lineup on Saturday, we will be a lot more inclined to support and to be fit. And I always support anyway. You know me, Jaffa. You know, I always will support. I'm never going to be calling for the manager's head. That's not what I do. I don't do that ball fraud thing, because when you have to insult people to raise a point, it just basically means you haven't got a point, you know, and that's what I would say. But big up, Jaffa. Irfan, I would also like to see Leon, but there's a conundrum. Dorgu left back. Then I'd have Heaven in that position. His height is also a plus. Dorgu's a left centre. Heaven is a left-sided centre back. Can't play left back. Irfan, he's never played there. Grayo, everyone, please can you smash the likes and subscribe? Thank you so much, Grayo. You're a legend. Thank you, brother. Let's not forget the thing, guys. Let's not forget. To smash a like. It's very important, guys. It's very important. Absolutely. Quinton. No problem, Quinton. I'm just bantering you, brother. Don't worry about it. This is Stretford Post. I will improve my microphone. I will improve my surroundings. I will improve everything. I live in a big, echoey apartment in the UAE, right? One day I'll take you around, and I'll take you around my flat, right? Right? And I'll let you know and see how hard it is for me over here in the UAE. It is difficult, to say the least. So I would say that eventually I will improve as time goes on, but that comes naturally, isn't it? You need to click the likes, need to get the subscribers up, and we'll keep moving up. Absolutely. Big up Irfan. Big up Quinton Fortune. Absolutely. I liked twice from my phone and TV. Thank you so much, Darren. You're a legend, mate. Thank you so much. Big up LT. What's going on? Long time no see, mate. Hope you're doing well. Big up Sal from the interview with TNT. It's clear Amram can see who are the problems, absolutely, but trying to slowly bed in the younger players won't work because he's playing these experienced criminals. It's difficult, LT. He's caught in between a hard place and a stone, isn't he? And this is what it is at the end of the day. It's a hard place and a stone. And this is what's going on, and it's difficult for him. People forget that he's the one on the firing line. He's the one on the front line. He's the one on the front line. And I don't envy him, although he needs to help himself just with a few changes here and there. Even if he changed Bruno Fernandes, it would be a lot better. It would be a lot better, even if he'd done that, anyone who is Amram in is crazy. 33 points, 35 league games, 9 wins in 11 months. If you think that's what they're good, then you're not a United fan. I've supported United since 91 and we never play. Okay, mate, I supported United longer than that. But what I would say is I support United when Man United come in. No one is Ruben Amram in, Ruben Amram out. We're Ruben Amram. We're actually Man United in. If you know about the history of Man United, having supported Man United since 1991, you would know that anyone could say I supported the football club as long as this and blah, 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 blah. Heard it all before. Look at my pictures on social media. I can prove it. I have done that. But what I would say is, he needs to get better results. That's it. And we can't say any more than that. This whole thing where if you support Ruben Amram, you're not a Man United fan, that's not what a Man United fan would say. Let me just say that. That's not what a Man United. I've been to over 500 games, mate. And I've never heard someone say that about a manager. If you support him, you're not a real Man United fan. That's just my opinion, me, because I witnessed it. I've experienced it, right? And that's what I would say about that. A good Man United fan would understand the context, would understand the derelict building that Manchester United that any manager walks into, and would call things as they are, not just in one-dimensional thinking and tunnel vision thinking. And that's what some people are doing. They're very tunnel vision. They come in here, they don't talk about INEOS, they don't talk about the players, just the manager. And as that percentage thing went around yesterday, the board, you're only as good as your board. And that's what it is. Did they back him? They gave him a 4 out of 10 window, Jaffa, I'm getting tired of the narrative. Amram doesn't have a player to play in the midfield. Same old bunch of twats he has choose from. But back the manager, you impatient twats. Let him get the players he wants. Absolutely. It's not a 5-2-3. It's a 3-4-2-1. By the way, we just don't have the wing backs, mate. Just to let you know, guys. Just to let you know, it's nothing to do with the system. Just to let you know as well. We played a 4-3-3 under Eric Ten Hag. We fouled. We played a 4-3-3 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Guess what? We fouled. We played a 4-3-3 under Jose Mourinho. Guess what? We fouled. We played a 4-3-3 under Ragnick. Guess what? You're saying you're a United fan is blaming Amram. If you really are a United fan, then you will know it's much more deeper than that. Thank you, Grayo. I know, mate. Me, if that's how you think, thank you for joining the stream, mate. I appreciate you, mate. But it's not that. And let me tell you something. As a Man United fan all my life, you're going to get your new manager. It's going to happen. Who cares? I ain't got no affiliation with Ruben Amram. He's a millionaire. He'd be fine. You're going to get your new manager. And we'll be here in a year. And me, you can come back and join me if you can apologize if you want, because we'll be here in a year. Because if we don't fix the foundation and the biggest problems at this football club, we're not going to go anywhere, mate. You know what I mean? And if we're talking about systems, then you're lost with that one, mate. You're lost with that one because we've been there, we've done it. Systems don't mean nothing. It's the players, mate. It's the players, innit? Absolutely. And it doesn't matter how many paragraphs you write to justify an opinion. This community here is incredibly intelligent. You're gonna find a way. You're not gonna get at the end of the day, you're not gonna get in leeway, no matter how many you do. The players Amram has is disposal, absolute shite. Absolutely. It's not the system. If anyone says anything in the system, getting blocked, mate. Amram just needs to be brave and drop these criminals. Absolutely. Because there is a change in our play, but we can't see it because these criminals keep reverting to show up when they feel like it. Absolutely. And there you go, mate. History will tell you that, isn't it? Guys, I really want to thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate it, you know. I really appreciate it, but that's it, guys. No team's a glory hunter. You may be a glory hunter, me, but not me. I support Man United. We ain't win the league for 20 years, 25 years. Absolutely not. Nikki T, it is a glory hunter supporter, you should say, not a true Man United supporter. There you go. Absolutely. Darren, big up Genghis, by the way. Bruno is supposedly an elite international midfielder. He should be able to do his role. I agree. It's not a ideal position, but he needs to see him play more in the discipline for Portugal. Yeah, I mean, he plays well for Portugal. That is a big conversation, of course. Absolutely, that's a big conversation, you know. Me, I watch football. I work in football. 4-3-3, 4-2-1, 4-5-1. It's not going to make a difference with these players, mate. It's not going to make a difference with these players. It's not going to make a difference. You could play all your formations and systems all you like, mate. Every system you like. It's not going to make a difference. Ruben Amram's system is a 3-4-2-1, not a 5-2-3. Get it right, bruv. Get it right. Guys, get it right. Absolutely. Let me tell you something about Man United, right? This is what you don't understand about changing a culture at the football club. How many title challenges we had? None. So when you're changing a title challenge of the club, you have to make sacrifices. Exactly what Alex Ferguson did. If you're supporting Man United a long time, you would understand that sacrifices are part of the game. And sometimes you're going to take a hit. We can win the FA Cups. We can lose Europa League finals. We could do that. Fantastic. Who cares? You know what I mean? We can do that. But ultimately, our goal was to win the league. We've been playing counter-attacking football, mate. Counter-attacking football. That's what we've been doing. That's it. You know, you could talk about your 3-4-2s, your 4-4-2s, your 3-5-1s, and act like you got some kind of inkling of knowledge about football, you know, at the end of the day. Act like you do, you know. I support my team through thick and thin, me. I support my team win, lose, or draw, mate. That's what I do. You don't understand, actually, you're probably from some village somewhere, mate. You don't really understand English football. You're from some village and you're just being told and being bantered by your mates. So you don't want to take it, mate. And that's what it is, mate. Sorry, bruv. But that's what it is, guys, at the end of the day. Goodbye. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. Really appreciate you. Sorry about the motor mouth there. He's writing lots of paragraphs. You know what they say about people who have to write lots of paragraphs? They're Paul talking shit, basically. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Guys, have a nice day. Have a good evening, good night and stuff like that. We get rid of the glory hunters. We get rid of those people. We're not glory hunters in here. Absolutely. RJ, he don't understand that. He won't understand. I'm sorry, but he had to go into a timeout. I apologize for that, guys. Really apologize. Yeah, he's trying to take over the chat. We don't want that. Guys, have a great evening. We are no Amram in and Amram out. We're in the middle. He's definitely Amram out. So he's just on that. He's on that extreme thing. So the delusional thing gets in their brain a little bit and stuff like that. Big up, Stephanie. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're blessed. Guys, have a great day, great night, great evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. And let me just read LT, the legend. Have you actually witnessed the weak mentality, player power, and shite recruitment and not backing the manager? Let's be real about our team's problem. He won't, because he has a narrative. He has an agenda. And that's exactly what it is. He has an agenda. And agendas, they don't fit well with me in the stream. Flexible opinions like the likes of Grayo have, the likes of other people have. Flexible in and outs opinions, guys, is what it's all about. Big up Stephanie and big up everyone. Big up Jengas. And thank you everyone who joined me tonight. Have a great evening, great night, great morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. And I'll see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. Please put your notifications on. If anything breaks, I'll be live, guys. Take it easy. Peace.